Hey guys, Cameron Williams back again today, and got some really exciting stuff we want to talk about today. It's going to be about how business is not a charity. So obviously that's an obvious statement, but we're going to go through how supply and demand really keep everything in line due to competition and whatnot. And then we're also going to discuss at the end of the episode an example from the pharmaceutical industry of if this competition wasn't a thing, how much profits and how much prices could really go in this system. So a disclaimer first off, the capitalist system is one of the most efficient systems we have. It keeps everything at a happy balance. The buyers are happy because they're getting what they want. The sellers are happy because they're getting what they want. So that's the disclaimer for the capitalist system, but there are some flaws in it, and that's kind of what we'll really discuss today, especially with that example at the end of the episode here. But first off, I just want to talk about how no matter what business it is, whether it's a most expensive clothing store, Ralph Lauren, Gucci, whatever it may be, or if it's even just a dollar store, go ahead there. Even if it's just a dollar store, every business' sole purpose is to make profit and bring in as much money as they possibly can. At the end of the day, they're looking at their net income statement and they want to get as much profit margin as they possibly can. That's the whole purpose of even starting a business, running a business, doing anything with business, is to make as much money as you possibly can. And yeah, there are businessmen and women out there that get into business for the right reasons, to provide value, to provide benefits for the consumer, to actually be consumer centric. There definitely are, but at the end of the day, that's not putting food in their family's mouth. That's not paying their bills. That's not helping them live the way they want to live. At the end of the day, they are looking at that profit they're making off whatever said product they're selling. So businesses are not a charity, obviously. Whatever business it may be, whatever product it may be, it's being bought for a lower price than it's being sold for. So that price difference is going into somebody's pocket. So any business is buying it for low, selling it for higher. And it's a great system because the buyer's satisfied, but pretty much the buyers indirectly agree to buy something at the lowest possible price they can, and then the sellers indirectly agree to buy something at to sell something, at the highest possible price they can. And this kind of meeting in the middle is where the price point ends up being, and that's pretty much supply and demand in its simplest form. The highest price the buyer's willing to pay, and then the lowest price the seller's willing to sell, is the price point or the equilibrium. And that's the basics of supply and demand, really. The buyer wants something for as low as they possibly can, where the seller wants to sell it for as high as they possibly can. And where it meets is where it's sold for retail. And competition is what really keeps all of this in line, because if, say, seller A of product X is selling the same thing as seller B, of product X as well, and if seller A and seller B both sell the same exact product, same quality, same everything, if seller A drops the price below seller B, guess what? Seller B is going to go out of business unless he or she also drops the price to the same as seller A, as what they're selling it for. So, I mean, given all variables are constant, if seller A has the same product, same quality as seller B, and they drop the price, seller A is going to get all of the consumers, all of the market share, all of the demand. So seller B is going to have to switch over and drop their price to match and compete in the market. And it's a beautiful system because it's kind of self-sufficient. It goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But the seller, just remember, the seller is making out no matter what type of discount they have, no matter what type of sale, the seller is making out. Because if they weren't, guess what? If the seller wasn't making profit off of what they were selling, they'd go bankrupt. They would go out of business. So just keep that in mind whenever you're driving down the road next time you go to a store, next time you do anything or go anywhere and buy anything, whether it's, like I said, the dollar store or the most expensive clothing out there, every company is making money off the consumer. They're pretty much screwing the consumer because they're getting it at a lower price and they're selling it for a higher price. And like I said, there are moral businessmen and women out there that get into business for the right reasons, to provide benefits for the consumer and provide value for the consumer. But at the end of the day, just remember, anytime you buy something or a salesperson tries to sell you something, they have an incentive behind it. They are trying to fill their pockets as much as they possibly can off that particular sale. Now, it's good because competition does keep things in line with the supply and demand system, but also it works out great because the consumer's happy because they're getting what they want, and the seller's happy because they're getting what they want as well. But if it wasn't due to this competition, how much would be enough profit? How much would be enough profit? And that's an example we're going to spell out right now with the pharmaceutical industry. So Mylan, just a few years ago, I guess going to be quite a few years ago, in 2007, they purchased the rights to EpiPen, which is a pen that kind of saves people's lives for allergic reactions, whether it's insect, food, drug, peanut allergies, whatever it may be. EpiPen saves the life of the person that's having an allergic reaction. It used to be $50 per serving, $50 for the consumer to buy. Now it's $600. They gradually raised the price over the years to $600. And Mylan's net income statement now is $1.1 billion a year. $1.1 billion. I had to make sure I was reading that correctly, but they're making $1.1 billion because they raised the price that much. And the Mylan CEO, she's making extra millions a year, extra millions off of something people need to survive. So people, if they don't get this, they're gonna die from an allergic reaction. So Mylan knows that. Mylan CEO knows that they could pretty much charge whatever they want. So they raised it from $50 to $600. To be frank, they could raise it up to $4,000 and people would still buy it because it's a life or death situation. People need it to survive. And that's where morals and morals in business gets a little bit in a gray area sometimes, especially when you're talking about medicine, because people, like I just said, people need that to survive. And the thing with EpiPen right now is generic medicines can't even be made or approved by the FDA because any competition they try to have, the FDA just can't approve it yet, because any rival company to Mylan, they cannot approve any generic medicine like it yet. So Mylan, really, with the EpiPen, has zero competitors right now. Zero competitors. But my question to you all is, obviously that's not morally right of just charging whatever they want, but how much is enough profit for Mylan? How much is enough profit for Mylan? So, like I said, they could charge whatever they want because it's a life or death scenario. So people might have to mortgage their cars, mortgage their house, not eat for 3 days just to get the medicine they absolutely need to survive. But as they fill Mylan's pocket and Mylan's CEO pocket because of the price rate, the price raise from $50 to $600. But my question to you all, and I'm going to leave you all off with this, is how much is enough profit for Mylan? Since there's no competition, supply and demand really isn't an issue for them, or isn't in the cards for them. How much is enough profit? I'm going to leave you all off with that today. Just want to thank you guys for watching. Just remember, anytime you're driving down the street here, businesses are not a charity. So supply and demand, capitalism is a great system, but just remember, the seller is always making off of the buyer. That's the buyer's paying the seller's bills, put it that way. And if they weren't, the business would go bankrupt. So business is not a charity, and that's really where we're going to end it today. I want to thank you all for watching. If you like this video, agree with anything I said, please like, comment, subscribe, share, do all that good stuff. I make these videos to provide value for y'all. Maybe look at things from a different perspective that we usually don't view in our day-to-day life. But thanks again for watching. Do all that good stuff of subscribing, comment, share, leave messages, anything. I'll see you all back here soon. Peace out, guys. Signing out.